Good evening everybody. Welcome to the Programming Guide channel. This is Bhargavi. Today in this session we are going to discuss about the deadlock avoidance. So in the last few videos we discussed about what is the definition of the deadlock, how the necessary conditions will work for the deadlock and how to handle the deadlock or how to prevent the deadlock. Now in this video we are going to discuss about the deadlock avoidance. Avoidance is nothing but keeping the deadlock aside. For example, if we have a friend with a critical case condition, so what we'll do if your friend behavior is not good, what will do? We avoid them. That means we not talk with them and we not discuss anything with them. Similarly, that means before happening a crash, we have to take the precautions to not occur the crash. So that we call it as a deadlock avoidance. That means before to the deadlock, we have to take care of the operating system not to occur the deadlock. That means we have to know the information of the resources as well as processes before starting. That means in the deadlock avoidance concept, prior information is needed. So that means prior information is required so that operating system will not enter into the deadlock condition. That means what? For example, we consider a process Pi. Now the process P1 is going to start. Before starting of execution of process 1 has to inform the operating system that it is going to use the 11 resources. So operating system will give that if the 11 resources are available, then it will give the starting execution for the process P1. If the required resources are not available with the operating system will not give the permission to start the process 1. That means whatever the resources are required in future also for the process P1 is 11. If the 11 resources are available with the operating system will give the permission to. Here we have a prior information for the process P1. Prior only process P1 is informing the operating system that it is going to use the 11 resources totally when it is going to be complete the execution. That means complete execution process of P1 requires 11 resources. So this information is already given to the operating system so that operating system is available with the 11 resources. If the operating system is having 11 resources, operating system will give the permission to the process P1. Okay, you can start your execution. I have 11 resources available. So you can use that 11 resources at any time and you can execute the process. Operating system will inform. So if you have a prior information in this way, we can avoid the deadlock. That means whatever the process is going to execute, that process must and should specify the number of resources it is going to use in future also, present and future. So how many number of resources it is required to execute such process will be in the deadlock avoidance. That means we can avoid the deadlock, but in which way? Prior information is required to the operating system. So this operating system can avoid the deadlock by using the Banker's algorithm. So operating system follow Banker's algorithm so that it will not to have the deadlock. So we will have an example of the Banker's algorithm. So first, what we need to here, in order to avoid your deadlock, we need prior information of the processes which are required, how many number of resources and available resources of operating system. Now consider here there are 5 processes P1, P2, P3, P4 and P5, and the allocations are presently at a time T, P1 is allocated with the 3 types of resources. Consider there are 3 types of resources are there. So first resource is of 0 type. So there are resources A, B, C. There are 3 kinds of resources like keyboard, mouse, monitor or speaker, something like that. So A is 0, B is 1, C is 0. Next P2 is using 2 A's, 0 B's, 0 C's. P3 is using 3 A's, 0 B's, 2 C's. P4 is using 2 A's, 1 B, 1 C. P5 is using 0 A's, 0 B's, 2 C's. That means at at a transaction, at a time t, these three type of resources are used by these 5 number of processes. Now, in order to avoid the deadlock, we have a prior information of that. P1 is informing the operating system that maximum of, max is nothing but at max how many number of resources it wants. 7 A resources, 5 B resources, 3 C resources. That means P1 is already set to the operating system that in future or only from starting execution to the end execution, P1 want 7 A's, 5 B's, 3 C's. So these three resources are given for the P1, as well as P2 also informing the operating system that 3 A's, 2 B's, 2 C's. P3 is also informing 9 A's, 0 B's, 2 C's. So this is the maximum needs given by the different processes before starting of execution. At a time t, this is the allocation. That is nothing but at a time t, operating system is allocated out of 7 resources, 0 A's are allocated. Out of 5 resources, 1 B is allocated. Out of 3 C resources, 0 is allocated for process P1. Same manner, out of maximum of 3, it has given 2 A's already. Now 2 B's, 2 C's, maximum need. But at a time t, 0 B's, 0 C's are given to the process P2. Right? So this is the allocation at a time t. These are the maximum needs of each and every process given priorly to the operating system. Now, currently at a time t, the operating system have 3 A's, 3 B's, 2 C's. Right? Now, the process 1 is executing. Now, these are the resources available. To avoid your deadlock, operating system distribute these 3 A's, 3 B's, 2 C's to different processes so that the deadlock should not occur. So, for which process it has to give the resources available here is depends upon the banker's algorithm. Clear? That is nothing but what are the resources available here that will be given to any one of these processes. So, which process is selected first? So, which process it has to give the resources first is depends upon your banker's algorithm. So, first we will calculate need. So, need is nothing but what? Maximum minus allocation. That means how many resources again balanced for process P1. Now, process P1 is requesting 7 A's, but it is allocated 0 A's. So, how many need it in future also? 7 A's it is need. That means need is nothing but we have a formula that max minus allocation for each process P1. Alright. Now 7 minus 0. 7, 5 minus 1. 4, 3 minus 0. 3. So 7 A's it need, 4 B's it need, 3 C's it need in future for the process P1. Now we'll calculate remaining need of each and every process. Now process P2 need 3 minus 2, 1, 2 minus 0, 2, 2 minus 0, 2. Next process P3 need 9 minus 3, 6, 0 minus 0, 2 minus 2. Right? Next process P4. Already it has given 2 A's, 1 A, 1 B. But how many it is asking? 2 A's, 2 B's, 2 C's. How many left? For 2 maximum it is specified. Already 2 A's are given. So 2 B's are there, 2 C's are there. 1 B is given, 1 C is given. How many left? 0 A's are left, 1 A left, 1 B left, 1 C left. Next last 4, 3, 3. So subtract 4, 3, 1. So these are the resources for the processes P1. Balanced resources are given by the operating system to these processes. But for process P1, it has 7 A's, 4 B's, 3 C's. But currently, operating system has only 3 A's, 3 B's, 2 C's. Can it will give? It is requesting 7, but it is asked, but it is has only 3. So we cannot give it. Next, what we have available? Next P2 have 1, 2, 2. 1A, 2B, 2C. But what we have here? 3A's, 3B's, 2C's. So 1 is less than 3, 2 is less than 3, 2 is less than or equals to 2. That means now available resources can be given to the process P2. That means what is the condition we are checking? Always check the condition that need should be less than or is equals to available. If this condition is true, then allocate resources to process. Right? Now check the condition. Now 1, 2, 2 which is less than or equals to 3, 3, 2. As condition is satisfied. If the condition is satisfied, what we have to do? Operating system will give the available resources to the process P2. How many it is need? 1, 2, 2 it is need. Out of available of 3, 3, 2. 3 A's, 3 B's, 2 C's. It is requiring 1 A, 2 B, 2 C's. Now operating system will give the permission to which process first? P2 given the permission. So operating system given the permission to process P2. So process P2 is taking these 1, 2, 2 resources out of available 3, 3, 2 resources. Now it executes a task and all the resources will be given back to the operating system. Why? Because its task is completed. So operating system will take all the resources. Presently it has given 1, 2, 2 resources and previously it has given 2, 0, 0 resources. So these all resources will be taken back by the operating system from the process P2. Now operating system will have some of the available resources. Previously it has 332 resources. Now it has what? 332 resources plus 200 resources. Clear? Now the available resources are 5, 3, 2. That means previously it has 322. So out of 332, 122 is given for the process P2. It has executed. It has finished with the task. So P2 will return presently given resources as well as pastly given resources also to the operating system. So how much it will be? 332 plus 200, that is 532. Clear? Now check for the process P3. Now process P3 needs 600 resources and operating system will have 532 resources. Is 632 is less than or equals to 532? No, it is requiring 6 A's but it have 5 A's only. So operating system will not give this 532 resources to the process P3. So the condition is false. So operating system will not give the permission to that. Next it will go for checking of process P4. Here the condition is true. Here the condition is false. Now 0, 1, 1 is required by process P4. Now is it equals to 532? So it is asking 0 A's, 1 B, 1 C. But operating system have 5 A's, 3 B's, 2 C's. So now operating system can give the resources to the process P4. Now process P4 is given resources and it executes the task and currently available resources and pastly given resources completely will given back to the operating system. So presently how many resources we have? 532. Now previously it has 211 resources. Currently given resources are 011. Pastly given resources are 211. So all these two resources will be given back to the operating system and operating system will also have some other resources also. So that will be added with 211. So overall 7, 4, 3 resources are available with the operating system. Now this condition will be checked with the process P5. 7, 4, 3. So it is process P5 requesting 4 A's, 3 B's, 1 C and it is having 7 A's, 4 B's, 3 C's. Now condition is true. If the condition is true, operating system will allocate the resources to the process P5 and process P5 will be executed and it will return back the currently available resources and pastly given resources back to the operating system. So how many it will be? Plus 0, 0, 2. So totally 7, 4, 5 resources are available. Now P2 is completed, P4 is completed, P5 is completed. Still how many processes are going to complete? P1 and P3. Now check the condition 7, 4, 3 for the process P1, 7, 4, 5. Now is the condition true? Yes. So if the condition is true, process need 7 A's, 4 B's, 3 C's. It has 7 A's, 4 B's and 5 C's. So operating system will give the permission to access these resources for the process P1. So process P1 will be executed and it will give the back the resources currently given and pastly given also. So total how many number of resources have? So currently or previously operating system has 745. Out of that resources some of the resources are given to the process P1, it executed. And lastly, how many number of allocated? 0, 1, 0 is allocated. 0, 1, 0 is allocated. Totally 7, 5, 5 resources are with the operating system. Now, process P1 is also completed. At last, what we have? Process P3. Now, 755 resources are there. Here the condition is false for the 532. So, here condition is false for the 532. Now, we have 755. But how many is requesting? 6 A's, 0 B's, 0 C's. It have, operating system has 7 A's, 5 B's, 5 C's. Now, the condition is true. If the condition is true, operating system will allocate the resources for the process P3, and process P3 is going to be executed, and the operating system will be taken back all the resources, currently given resources and pastly given resources to it. So, all the processes are executed in this fashion so that there should not be a deadlock. So, in this way, if you apply Banker's algorithm, we can avoid the deadlock. That's nothing but what? Here what we are doing? Here we have a prior information of maximum resources are required for each and every process. If you have maximum requirements priorly only, we can avoid the deadlock with the help of the Banker's algorithm. Clear? Thank you. Thank you for watching my videos. If you like this, please share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.